Hey guys, day 12 of 13 Days of Halloween. I asked and you guys unanimously agreed you wanted to see the Halloween videos even though it's after Halloween. So I'm starting out on a gessoed index card, 3 inches by 5 inches, and I'm going to apply some circle drywall tape to some of the corners and the edges of my card. And I'm taking these two stamps here. I wasn't sure which one I was going to use. I don't end up using either one of them, but I just wanted to try to get an idea of where I was going to put a stamp because I didn't want to put the drywall tape too close to the center and then have it be hard to stamp over. And some of the edges of my drywall tape I'm going to leave hanging over, and I'm going to rip and leave them like real rough looking. And some of the edges I'm just going to trim off with my scissors. And once I'm happy with my drywall tape, I'm just going to add a layer of gesso. Even though the card already has a layer of gesso, the drywall tape kind of has like an off-white color to it. And I just want everything to be white and have the same tooth to it. So once that's dry, I'm going to take some Dilutions paint in Squeezed Orange, and I got out Lemon Zest, but I don't use it. And then I have Dina Wakley Media in Elephant and Liquitex Basics in Mars Black. And I'm just going to use my finger to very loosely apply these colors horizontally across my card. And I'm mixing them a little bit together to get like a blendy look. And really, I'm just working at it until I'm happy with the way it looks. First with the orange and the gesso. I use gesso because I don't have any white paint. So yeah, I'm first using the orange and the white, and then I go in with little touches of the gray, trying not to blend the gray too much in with the orange. And then I could have stopped here, but I dried that first layer and then I went in with a second layer. I kind of wanted to make bigger blocks of color because the first layer, it kind of had like a lot of different stripes of color going on, so I just kind of wanted to add a little more white in and just make it look a little, I don't know, it looked like maybe a little messy to me, and this looks a little cleaner. So now I'm going to take some of that Mars Black and a cheapy makeup sponge, and I'm just going to sponge around the edges and bring that black in a little bit around where the drywall tape is. And I'm kind of tapping my makeup sponge on the edges, and it creates it creates a spongy look. Oh, God. Anyway, so my friend Debbie sent me this delightfully huge package of stuff to play with, all kinds of cool stuff, and in it was a lot of cool Halloween stuff. And this die cut paper was one of the things she sent me, and I'm pretty sure it's like gold foil on the top and paper on the back, so I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be just like a die cut paper element, but I love it so much I'm going to use it as a stencil. And I'm really trying to keep the stenciling in that one little area so that if the texture paste does ruin it, that it only ruins a little portion of it. I'm using Ranger texture paste, by the way, and I'm concentrating those bats over top of my drywall tape. And then I'm just going to scrape the excess texture paste off the top and use a baby wipe to wipe it clean and dry it off. And really, it held up really good. It didn't pull the paper away or anything, so I'm very pleased with that. So now I have some acrylic glazing liquid and some of that Mars Black. And I'm just going to mix up a very small amount of the paint and glazing fluid. And I'm going to apply it to just over top of my bats. And I'm trying to be very, very careful and just apply it to the top of my bats because I've tried to use a glaze on top of Dilutions paint before, and it does not react nicely. So I'm really trying to keep it off of that Dilutions. And then I'm not going to wait very long to wipe that back with a baby wipe. And then I'm going to get out my Tim Holtz stamping platform, and I have this Viva Las Vegas stamp that is like a moon ring and some bats and some watering can archival ink. And I'm using my stamping platform for two reasons. The first reason is that my card is very textured and I want to make sure I get a good smooth impression. And the second reason is that my ink pad is very dry and I don't have a re-inker. And if I can stamp it once, twice, 3 times, it's going to make the color more intense and more of a true color. So I wanted to make sure that I could get it nice and dark. And then I'm just going to ink up that one little bat there in that corner to fill in some of those empty spaces around the card. And then I have another Viva Las Vegas stamp, and it's like a line of sentiments that says like beware of werewolves and witches and goblins and stuff in this really cool font that kind of reminds me of the Ray Dunn font that's so popular. So I'm just going to stamp that a little bit in the corners, and I'm again using the stamping platform so I could get a nice even impression. But I'm only going to stamp it up with my ink pad once because I do want a little bit of a lighter color there. And then I wasn't sure what sentiment I wanted. These are both by Viva Las Vegas stamps. And the one says City Morgue and the other one says We Are the Weirdos, Mister. Which, if you are a teen or a child of the 90s, I'm sure you've seen the movie The Craft. Big fan. So in the movie, the kind of outcast girls, well, they're not, well, yeah, I guess they are kind of outcasts because they practice Wicca, and they're going out to a cemetery and they're on a bus. And when they get off the bus driver goes, "You girls, watch out for those weirdos." And the one girl turns around and says, "We are the weirdos, mister." So good. Such a good movie. So that's the sentiment that I decided to go with. And I'm going to use some of my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to just add a little bit of gray color to that because the white was very, very white. And I'm just going to add some dark gray on the outside, blend that out with the lighter gray, and then use a water brush to blend it all together and bring that gray in towards the center. And I did stamp it on Bristol Smooth cardstock so that it's strong enough to hold up to the water that I add to it. And the Bristol is really good with the Zig markers. You can blend them really well on the Bristol paper. And then I'm going to edge that whole thing with some black archival ink. And I love the little tiny ink pads for this. And then I ran the whole thing through my sewing machine. I added 2 lines of stitching. And then I have a little bit of black thread that I put behind the sentiment. And I'm just going to add a really, really thick line of glue behind my strip there because I need the glue to sink back behind the thread as well. And then I got out some of my distress crayons and I added a little bit of spiced marmalade and this yellow color mustard seed. And I really liked the orange, but I wasn't crazy about the yellow. So I'm going to try to remove that color so that I can get rid of the yellow and just add the orange back in. Now I wasn't able to get it up completely because it did get in a lot of the cracks and crevices, but the little yellow that did remain, I kind of enjoyed, so it didn't really matter too much to me. So then I'm just going to go in and add little touches of that orange back in. And it catches on the texture paste and the texture of the drywall tape and just looks really cute, I think. So then I thought I was done, even gave you the thumbs up and wave, but then I thought, no, I'm going to add some creepy cloth behind it. So that's what I did, and I just stuck it down with some washi tape to see how it looked, and then I'll just add some glue behind the washi tape so that it stays down more permanent. And that's it for my card today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for answering my question about what to do with my Halloween videos. I'm glad that you guys wanted to see them because I personally myself am not done with Halloween. So I'm glad that you guys aren't either. So thank you so much for watching and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.